Hello and welcome to another edition of Bob's KGS series. If you can hear it, and I don't know if I've made a video yet, I tried to make one, but I have a new microphone. So Christmas was a nice time for me. My dad actually, I was over at his house and he has a couple of microphones that he uses for various reasons, and he just, straight up gave me one when I mentioned that I do casts online. And, interesting. I don't want to do a tilde game. That guy Young Ki, he actually challenges me quite often, and I'll do the reverse where he gives me 3 stones and he will actually accept that. But what I'm looking for this game, there's a couple of suggestions that people have made. I may be doing a video very soon where I play a 6K with an even style game and kind of go over what is it the difference between 6K and 1 Dan, or hopefully eventually soon I'll be 2 Dan. People keep telling me I should be 2 Dan, but then I lose games. And then another one was, can you play a stronger player, maybe a 4 or a 5 Dan, and play it with a slower time control? And that's going to be difficult. So if I get another challenge from a 1 Dan or a 1K or even a 3K, I was thinking about, um, I wanted to play a Q player, 4 or 5K or something like that, and take a bunch of handicap stones, so I can show you guys how I play against handicap. A lot of people will say that you should overplay, you should do all these different things, and I really feel like you should think about it differently. In essence, your moves in a handicap game are going to be considered to be overplay on a normal board, in a sense, a strategic overplay. But they're not overplay because they are necessary in order for you to catch up. Now you can play solid and calm and hope that your opponent plays a couple of slow moves. That'll happen. A lot of 4 or 5Ks, when you just give them the ability to take a big point, they'll take the one big point that doesn't really matter, and they'll just keep doing that, and you keep taking bigger points than that, and that's one way of doing it. But another way is to start fights, things like that. I was thinking about playing him. I keep declining players, but now I'm taking forever. But it's a good chance to catch up and talk about what's going to be going on with the next videos I'll be making. So I'm hoping to play games with me taking handicap stones. I'm hoping to play games with me giving handicap stones. And it would be fun to play a couple of tilde players and take black with 3 stones against a weaker player. I don't really do that to beat up on people. As I've explained before, I do it because I don't like the idea of somebody always taking handicap stones, always taking an advantage, and never ever giving it out. So I force them to give me back what they've been taking from everyone else in order to play me. And the reason why I did that was because I don't like people who don't want to help other people. And you can't help somebody who's stronger than you. You have to be playing people who are weaker than you in order to quote unquote help them. They're going to learn from what you do, and they're going to be able to watch what you do, whereas when you play a stronger player, the reverse is the case. You're going to be learning from them. So I started declining anybody with a tilde, and a lot of them are very persistent. They would spam challenge me, and I just didn't like the idea of just repeatedly doing that, decline, 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 and then having to think about putting people on my censor list. So I decided, hey, I'm just going to challenge them. If they want to give me the stones that they owe to other people, if they want to give me the stones that they've been taking from everyone else, I'm willing to play them. So for a long time, what I would do is do a complete reverse handicap. If it was a 6K, I would take 6 stones from them, and I would be black. And, you know, like right here, Baby Bird is 6K. But then I started doing just 3 stones. Whether they're 2K or 10K or whatever. Okay, we're going to get a game here. And good luck. Another factor of this game, lately I have been playing Tengen. And I've been playing it as white or as black. I haven't done it against a 1-dan yet, but I am going to do it. And the reason why I did this was because I wanted to get my creative juices flowing. There's a lot to be said about the game of Go in terms of what is a good move from the start. And Tengen is a perfectly viable move. I know that for those of you who also watch Battousai, he hates Tengen. And there's a reason that he hates Tengen. And I'm going to try to avoid that reason. In fact, I'm going to try to play a good game of Go by making the Tengen stone a viable stone. And as we can see here, my opponent is already making it so that I can do that. Now let's see. I know that attaching underneath doesn't work, but what is the way to make it not work? So if I Hane here, he's going to cut here, and then if I Atari, what? He can descend. I mean, he can Atari me this way, but I don't see that as working out for him very well. If I play this way, yeah, I like this. Because I really want this side. If he descends, it's going to be really, really nasty for him. So, if I connect, he'll descend, then I descend, then he turns, then I jump this way, then he can come out this way. But I kind of like that. I mean, he doesn't really get a lot. In fact, he gets nothing here. He gets, this is strong and this is weak. The only thing is this group going to survive in the corner? So that's actually something that we need to think about. Can I survive with that group in the corner? So again, let's read it out. Connect here, descend, descend. I could descend this way, but when he turns, he's alive in the corner, and I'm having to jump out, and he can lean on me and then come out this way. And these 3 stones right here are going to be really, really weak. So if I connect, another thing I can think about is if I just take the stone. Okay, so let's look at this first. Connect, descend, descend, turn. So he's captured this stone. These 2 stones need to make a base in the corner. I play this and he jumps out. Then I could play this. Actually, he can just descend first. And I'm not going to be alive in the corner. That's not good. But you know what? This is really, really bad for him. Because where is his shape? Okay, let's see. If I descend, that's the first question. If I descend, he's going to turn. I can push, he Hane, I Hane, he connect, I descend. I'm alive in the corner. He doesn't have any shape at all. And actually, this is where Tangen is supposed to come into play really, really well. The thing about Tangen is it's a fighting move. It's an influence move, and you need to use it as a fight. In essence, it's a cosmic cap. I'm capping everywhere on the board, which means a cap is never used to make territory. So what it's used for is attacking. So what I have to do is I have to make Tangen into a viable cap. So you're never going to cap living groups. You're never going to cap groups that aren't under attack or can't be attacked very well. So what you want to do is transition Tangen into some kind of knight's move in the center to give you, in essence, two moves in a row in that local fight. So any fight throughout the board is going to favor Tengen overall, which means that him starting a fight right here is actually good for me, as long as I play correctly to make Tengen a relevant move. So I'm thinking about taking his shape here, because you can see this Hane is going to be really, really good for him if he gets it. He's going to turn, I'm going to push, and I mean, I'm alive in the corner. Turn. He's right. If he turns this way, I can just jump out this direction. So then the question becomes, why did he do that? Okay, so we're going to do that. So what I want to do is I want to have stones running this direction, which means since he has no base, and actually when he turns here, he can start to get a base, but he's not getting much of a base anyway. Okay, this is what one might call really, really overplayish. But whether or not somebody's playing an overplayish system or anything like that, you have to prove it to be what it is. Otherwise, it's not. So the first thing that I'm thinking of is this, because this is very active. If I can get a wall here and jump here, these stones are going to have a really hard time trying to make shape for themselves. And if they're going to have a hard time trying to make shape for themselves, then Tengen's going to be useful. Another thing that I wanted to do is just play this. He attaches, I pull back, and then I can play something like this to cap this stone and get these stones out. They'll be perfectly fine. The one thing that I don't want to do is tanuki this group, because it's exactly what he would want. If I play this and he pushes up and I play up and he pushes up and I play up, Tangen becomes a large knight's move, which is really nice. He turns, I pull back, he hanes, I hane, he connects or plays this to go under, and then I pull down. So I'm alive in the corner. He's made a wall here. It's a really nice wall for him. I don't want to lean on this stone because it's too good against this. So I'm going to let him, he can poke at my shape here, because I want to be able to come back and pincer this. Okay, so he's got a base now. The first thing I'm thinking about is this, because it's sente for me. He doesn't think it's sente. So let's see. I want to try to leave Aji here, because if I get some kind of attachment here or attachment here, then it's good. But the question is, if I do this and he slides into the corner, what kind of Aji is there? There's really not a lot. He's pretty strong here. So I'm thinking about kicking to make him over-concentrated, and then I still have this, or actually this move later. So that's what I'm thinking about. There's a weakness here, or this move as well. Kind of threatens to hook up against this. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And the way to play Tengen that's really, really annoying, and also it's not good go, is to just sit there and take territory. Like, play Tengen, take all the territory you can, and then hope you live in the center. It's ridiculous. It works sometimes because obviously I'm not a professional, but it's not going to work against somebody who knows what they're doing. And so it's annoying for that very reason. So here's what I'm going to do. As of right now, he's developing this area, but I have my cosmic cap. So I kind of want this area to be strong and wallish, and I want to take that territory away. But in another sense, I mean, another move here isn't really going to give him much, so I don't think that I want to play it yet. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. He's got a lot of weaknesses. He can play something like this, and I'll play back. Okay, so he's playing really solid right now. So he's taking territory here, taking territory here. But the key is, if this is the stone that I want to be relevant, the way to make it irrelevant or unavailable or not do any work is to not come under attack. So, like I'm thinking about playing this. If I can play low moves to take away his base, he's going to have to run towards Tengen, which makes this low move an attacking move. So Tengen is an attempt to surround from the top and then attack from the bottom. So I need to think about those types of things. But first thing I might do is just jump up like this. Because as of right now, I feel like I'm ahead on territory already. So I don't need to play anything crazy. I can just play calmly. Another thing that I can think about is splitting here, and I have a 2-space extension on either side. And yeah, he's got 10 or 15 points here, 10 or 15 points here. He doesn't have any territory here yet. This is an area of influence, and I can attack like this. It may even be a good move just to cut this stone off, because this is really wide so far, and that would make Tengen a viable move. So I could play this, and then he can push me around, or I could play this, or I could play here, and I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this stone. I think what I'm going to do, I could also do this. And what this does is it asks him, where's the Aji? And because I'm very strong here, it makes this attack against this stone really nice. So I might want to make it a stronger attack in order to go ahead and make it as strong as I possibly can. I think I'm going to do that. So force him to respond. And now this stone is getting more and more cut off. He could go for a really, really crazy ko here, but I have pretty good ko threats. And he could try to Atari from the top, but he's letting me into his corner. Okay, so now here's the next question. Do I need to even win this ko? I could Atari here and then connect, but I don't really like that. So if I extend and he connects, then what? Well, either way, this is a ko threat. Because if he wants to connect here, I mean, yeah, he's got this nice little wall, but this jump is going to be extremely severe. And here's where a lot of players are going to be greedy, and they're just gonna connect. He could peep here. I'll just connect because his cut I get to extend here. I've got these two stones supported by Tengen in the center. That would be using Tengen effectively. He can jump here. That's not worth this ko. This ko is extremely, extremely valuable. So he can't allow me to finish it off. I really don't like this for him. I mean, it's like, wow. If I play this, he Atari's here. He can try to connect under, but is that really going to be good for him? Or I could just play this, then he connects here, or if he tries to Atari me, then I've got a double Atari, and then I can just play this. And I'm alive in his corner. I'm gonna see what he really is trying to do here. Yeah, okay, so he's trying to do that. The ladder goes here. Atari, connect. Atari, nothing. He can connect here, but then I have double Atari. Okay. Now the question is, which double Atari do I want? I think I want this one. Oh, okay, never mind. I mean, this is really, really, really good for white. What did black gain there? The question becomes, now that these stones are connected up, and these stones are like, I mean, there's no way that they're ever going to die. I could take this stone, but it's not even really worth it. So he's got this corner, which he already had, and what else? So I'm just going to jump. Okay, so now he's deciding that I have too much. There's a number of things I could do. I mean, this Hane is actually quite big. But I think what I want to do, I mean, this stone's obviously going to live. So the question is, what's the best way to try to make profit from its life? So how do I make him pay for this stone to live? And fighting in the center is usually the best way when you already have a stone in the center. The only thing that I'm worried about is this stone. So like if I defend here, then he can play this, and then what? Do I defend here again? And now I'm taking this one stone with 3 moves. He's still got Aji in the corner, and There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So I'll tell you what, actually my weakest group is this one. So I'll defend this one. These stones aren't really all that weak, in my opinion. We could easily be proven wrong. It's happened before. It's happened to me more times than I can hope to begin to imagine. So now we have a weak group in the center of the board. The cool thing about this weak group is he's heading towards Tangen, and I'm surrounding this area as well. Now he can try to play this now, and he would even take some territory doing that. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come underneath here. Steal this base, force him to connect up, and then maybe this move will be Sente, and I can start to think about attacking other things. So the big question now is this group alive? And when I play here, he's going to have to answer that question. And a lot of times people will answer that question with yes, and they assume that that is the best answer. And that's a good answer. I mean, it's a whole lot better than the answer no. I mean, nope, not alive, I'm dead. Thank you for playing. But if somebody's going to answer yes, it doesn't mean that it's a good answer, because that yes has a lot of qualification to go with it. And the yes that he's getting here is, yes, I'm alive because I'm going to make you thick every single freaking where that I can in order to ensure that life. I've still got a probe here, so he's got to play that. But look what he did, all these exchanges here. So now what I can think about is this type of move, and maybe solidify this connection while getting some Sente moves against this. He can't allow me to do that. So as soon as he doesn't allow me to do that, I get my follow-up. And now I can think about this. I think he's killing himself in the center. Okay, so he's still going to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and just take this. And look, here's Tengen. Tengen is relevant. Now, when he pushes, I probably have to pull back, but then my shape will be really good, and I don't mind that. So I'm just going to take this. And here's the thing. I think I'm ahead on territory, if I'm not wrong, because he's only got this and this. And I'm going to start to... I'm thinking about probing this shape here, but I don't really want to do that. I think I'm just going to take this or this. This looks like a good move, but it's not as severe against the group. This looks like a good move, except it just doesn't quite look good. You know, I think this is best because he's got this cut here. I'm just going to make a strong, solid shape. Because when he plays here, I got to play here, and then he can turn, and I can cut, and he can cut me, and then I have to worry about this group. Which, I guess that means I should protect this shape. Maybe play this. If he wants to lean on the bottom, then I'm just going to get territory here. And almost every ladder in the world favors me, which is always a good thing. If you want to win, then having every ladder ever in existence, except like this one. the one ladder that I'm going to end up playing, right? So having every ladder on the board is always a nice advantage, especially when you're fighting. And yeah, we've all seen those Tengen players who try to live everywhere. Um, and that is the absolute wrong way to play Tengen. The way to play Tengen is to fight. And yeah, those players fight, but they're greedy fighters. And they're trying to get everything ever in the history of everything, which is not the way to fight with Tengen. So let's see. I think that this is okay. It's especially okay if you consider that I can play this move first. Atari, descend. Oh, it's close. It's close. But either way, that's the natural move, so we'll see how he wrecks this. So first things first, I'm going to play this. And you know what? If I have to make a fight with two stones, I mean, he does get to push through, but let's see. Hikaru, I connect. This is what I was reading before. Hikaru, I descend. He descend. When I descend, is that going to be Sente against this corner? Because I got a probe here and I can play this. Is he going to be alive in the corner? And actually, I may just ask that question right now. Are you alive in the corner? And he's like, no. This move is absolutely humongous because it totally wipes out this territory here. But if he cannot survive, then it's not very big. So now I can play this. Not really. Let's see. I don't want a Hane here because then he's got all these Sente moves, and really this area is not very big. So I think what I want to do is I just want to do this. Because now I'm coming into his corner, and all the territory that he keeps on saying he has, he then gives up. Okay, so I mean, I can steal those 3 stones. If I Hane here, if I play this, then he can descend. Actually, I like this because it gives me some Sente. And it makes sure that this cut is really not all that worthwhile. So I can play a move like this. Okay, so he gets the Hane. The Hane's big. It's really actually quite big. But he can't cut me. So, I mean, he's starting to make stuff. That's a good little move. And I think the best way to play it is this. Because if I Atari, he Atari, I connect, he Atari. He's still got to connect there. His corner gets so big and I get so small with that move. So I'd rather wreck them both. Oh, so many decisions to make. Let's see, if I play this, I really hate that move. I should have gotten P2 in a long time ago. This shows you P2 was humongous. And I was like, hey, I should play P2. But I got other things to talk about, so I'm going to do that. And then, of course, P2 turns out to be monstrous. I cannot allow him to reduce me that much and expand himself that much. It's just too much. But here's a little fun tidbit. This kind of works. I could fight a Ko here for like everything in the whole world. But I like this idea. He can play this. And then I do this. And now what? Okay. And now these stones are starting to get weak, so we have to worry about that. But we don't have to worry too much. And I'm ahead like a gazillion points. Okay, I could cut this stone off now, which means this group is not really 100% as weak as it could be if it was. But you know what? This center group is like, am I alive? Am I not alive? I think I am. So the first thing I'm going to do, because, I mean, he really doesn't have a whole lot of shape. Let's see. Okay. Da, da, da. He's got this weak group, which is actually not weak. It's probably alive unless I get like 1,000 free moves in. I could do this. I kind of like this attachment. Because these stones are strong. They're all connected mostly up all the way. And now I can play what? This? Yeah, totally. And he doesn't have anything. So I get another corner. I'll take it. You can notice I've become a little bit more territorial, you know, because, I don't know, maybe I've been studying history and the countries with the biggest territory end up being strong. That could be it. It could be that I finally made an advance in my understanding of what it means to play a territory game. It could be that I've finally got onto the bandwagon of the Takamiya Masaki school. You know, just a number of different things. And this move is still very, very big. And it's also a stabilizing move. So I'm going to play that now. I'm trying to read out things here because this is now Atari. So he can play here. You know what? I can give up this stone if I have to. This is bigger than that stone anyway. If I give up that stone, then I'm fine. You see, he's got this Hane here, and then I play here. He connects, he plays here. Then he's got this probe, and it can play here. and then he can try to cut me, but he's dead, so it's all good. Now this S11 move is really big for me, but it's not very big for him. So he's reducing me, which is fine. You know, when I've got a million billion points, I'm okay with a little reduction. If you want to reduce me just a hair, but you know what? Before I start questioning one person's life, I need to answer the question of my own life. Let's play stabilizing moves and not go crazy. Because when you're winning, something about fishing or a proverb. But yeah, when you're winning, you don't have to go around like doing crazy things. And I mean, I'm the first person to go around trying to do crazy things when I'm winning. Okay, I will admit that I have a problem. But the first step to solving any problem is to admit it. And I've admitted it. So obviously I don't have a problem anymore because I've already solved it because I've admitted it. So you guys got problems and I don't. This group I've already seen. I mean, there's no real crazy moves against this. And Hihane, I play here. He can try this. I Atari, and then he connects, and then I extend. And he's got like a probe here, but this is connected up this way. So as far as the fighting goes, I'm doing all right. As far as the territory goes, I'm doing even better. This area is pretty large, though. Oh, so he's doing some stuff and things. I'm going to go ahead and play a move to reinforce. I'm going to do that. Ooh, what about this? And you say, what about this? Let's probe this first, because he plays here, I can push through. And then push through. Now he's got to live with this group. Obviously, oh. Never mind. Okay. That was wrong. Hey, but if you're going to lose 4 points, try your best to lose 4 points in Sente. Because then you can go back and defend like you should have done in the first place. Oh, it's not Sente, huh? Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, well, I like crying. I do. That's why I'm doing it right now. So do I play here, here, or here? Standard shape, kind of standard, weird. I mean, that's pretty big. But why don't we count, since we've got like all kinds of Byo-Yomis. Okay, so let's see. I've got 8, 10, plus another 6. So about 15 points here. 5. Let's say, is that only 10 points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, 10. Another 15 points here. 6, 7, 8. So let's say 10 points here. So 25. 25 plus 15 is 40. I've got like 50 some odd points plus Comey. And he's got almost nothing. If he gets this move, he'll have 2, 4, 6. Well, let's do this first. This all could be bad. It could be all bad. But I wouldn't know, because I'm the one playing it. Let's see what he does here. If he plays here, or if I play here, he does this, and then tries to come out with this stone. I play here. Okay. And then he plays there, I play here. He plays there, I play here. He gets an Atari here. So I actually don't need to worry about that because of the snapback. Do we need to read it out again? Here, 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 here. There, there. He gets an Atari. He can connect and I connect. That's fine. That's fine for Sente this way. Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, and now... Oh, this was a way better move. Although... Oh. I'm looking at this kind of stuff. Okay, so now I can kind of do what? Probe here, and I can Hane here. And this is points, but let's see, Atari. So I'm going to let him steal this. The main thing was solidifying this connection, so he can gain this stone in Gote. But this, he had this, and then he could cut through, and I was just trying to get rid of that so that I could ignore this cut through and be able to connect here. So now I'm just fixing this shape up in the center, maybe something like this. And if I'm connected, I don't have to worry about that. And it becomes Dame. So this is now useless. So he played... It's not so much Dame because it does make sure that Aji from this stone becomes easier to handle and things like that. So he can play that. I'm going to Atari first because you should always do stuff before you do other stuff. I think that's a proverb. Okay, now here's the thing. He's got this craziness here, but I can play here because I've got Mii. And Mii is when you can do whatever me or I want to. And actually now I've lived in Sente. So remember, Mii is an important concept because if you have Mii, you can do whatever you want. And for anybody who doesn't know what Mii is, it's not what I just said, so don't listen to me. There's Mii, and then there's Ki, and then there's Crazy. And I'll tell you, man, Tudons are crazy. They do stuff that's like, what? How did you ever think? That's such a crazy fight. And they want to fight like that all the time. They're like, yeah, I'm a fighter. Oh, I wanted to take this stone because I didn't want to have to reread with like this Atari and do-do-do-do-da-do-do-do-do. I didn't like that whole thing. We still got this anyway. I have to connect. Okay, so this this Atari actually was good for white. because he doesn't have the Atari from this direction now. It's one of those things about Aji. Sometimes you get forcing moves, but it doesn't mean that it's a good thing just because your opponent had to do what you wanted. Because it might have been what he wanted to do too. And when you look at it that way, you have to say, what is it that I can do with this Aji that he wouldn't want me to do otherwise? And is it better than anything else I can do with this Aji? Because just like he would want you, let's see, do I play this? Take this stone. I mean, just like he would want you to do things that would force him to get stronger, like what I just did. Actually, I should have played like this, because then that stone gets cut off. I think what I'm going to do is let him have that stone so that he can't probe this weakness. And I'm going to let him have, well, this Hane and me having to descend so passively like that is not fun for me. I don't like it. So I'd rather he get anything else. And here's an Aji thing. I've been thinking, well, what if I wedge in and there's nothing that he can, that's going to kill him with the wedge or anything like that. So he's not having any problems. So that's not a big deal. So should I play here? And what? First I'm going to peep here, because it's not so much about using Aji anymore. I'm just strengthening this shape, and there's nothing else I could ever do with this. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't, die somewhere, because I didn't realize that there was something crazy going on. So he can push here, he can take here, so I've got a couple of points here, but not really a whole lot. The main thing is I don't have to protect this cut point, which is good. Little things like that, with Go being not just a game of territory, but a game of strength and weakness, the real nasty stuff is the stuff that you have to, so this is worth 2 points, and it's Gote, so I don't care about it. It's the stuff that he has to defend that really start to make the points add up. Because like this, okay, this means that I will eventually have this, and then he has to take here, and then I can play here for Atari, and he's going to die. So I've been thinking about playing this move because it weakens his stones enough that he needs to defend against it. But I don't know if it's big enough yet. But that's the only reason why it's big, or worth anything. This is not worth as much as it could be right now. I think that this is 2 points. It's like 1.5 point Sente. This is 1 point Sente. This is 2 points Gote. This is a 1 point Sente. So let's see if he'll answer this. So then I can go back and do all the other stuff I wanted to do. Or all the other stuff that I didn't know what I wanted to do. He might ignore it. That's kind of odd. Let's see. I don't need to worry about my points because he can cut through, but it doesn't really mean anything. So if he pushes here, it's Gote Dame. It's not worth any points, and he's playing it in Gote. So yeah, obviously he doesn't do that. So there's your 2 points. And just guesstimating, I think I'm winning. But like I said before, I mean, I don't know if I could ever... I'm not very good at counting. I should be a lot better at it. And these things, I mean, they shouldn't really get ignored as much as he's ignoring them. Because I get extra follow-ups. Oh, but you know, if I don't have an eye... So let's see. This is big. He's going to take here, and I'm going to block. And that means I get to play here, and he's got to play here. So I get to take away another 1 point in Sente. And I'll do that right now. And another one. Because I don't think that this is worth this. Actually, I can take this first, because it's a Gote move. And then I can just strengthen my shape here. And this is just to make sure he doesn't like get some kind of crazy thing there, which would have never happened anyway. Oh, so here's my chance at Gote Dame. I'm a happy camper. Yeah, that was really sad. Like, hey Bob, read a move. See that first one? Yeah, then he's going to do a second move, and that's where the reading starts. When you're reading a move, and this was bad for him, because now I can start a really pretty nasty ko. All I need is one ko threat. So that's one ko threat. And now, if he wants to fight this, be my guest. So now he's had to connect here, which makes this Sente where this was Gote. And I think I'm going to do this. Yeah, because that means he can't play here. So he has to defend here, and he can't play here. If he does, well, so this becomes Sente. The cool thing about this move, it's like a little, it looks like I'm defending, but I'm really attacking. And if he doesn't, yeah, okay. If he didn't see that, it's like, well, that was a good game. And, you know, I don't know what to think about moves like that. I've seen some really nice play by Battousai where he lets things like that go. I don't like to let that go. And I don't want people to let it go when they play me either, because I don't think that people get better that way. And it could be there's a conflict of interest. Like, hey, if I play this move, I'm going to win the game, and that's what I want to do because, you know, I'm playing a competitive game. But I think overall, are we in ko now? This is the game ko. Oh. Double endgame Yose ko. Oh, that's so nice. But my shape here is so good now. Did you see how it fixed? My shape became just fantastic. Okay, so Atari, ta-ta. Atari, I connect. He plays here. What does that do? You know, I think I should fix that. I just don't like that. He gets to Atari, connect, Atari, connect. Oh, you know what? He would have had to play here, then I could Hane. Okay. I played, this move was not necessary. So, time to pass. Hopefully I'm winning. Oh. Only by like 21. Done. Good game. You know, somebody once said that I said good game and that was rude. It could be if you only say it when you win, and the only time that your opponent saw it is that one time that they played you and you happened to win the game, so I can see that. So I've actually started saying thanks when I win, which I didn't do here, and then I've started saying good game when my opponent wins, and I don't know. I may end up going with that. So, Tengen. Tengen with white is really rare, but I like to play... Lately, I've wanted to play creative things because I was doing double this and that, and here's the standard shapes, and this, and my game was becoming boring. So I wasn't playing creatively. So I wanted to start playing creatively again. And then I started winning, so that always helps. Okay, now I don't really know what to do here, but I think what I did was good. If I connect, well, let's see. First of all, what about Hane from the other side? If I Hane from this side, he cuts, do this. Well, it ends up being the same if he does this. Okay, so if I connect, he does this, I do this. This is probably the best result, but it's really, really... Well, I'm not alive in the corner. Is Little Jack Horner alive in the corner? I don't know. Oh, he can't get out. That's the thing. Okay, so let's look over that again. This is what, as far as I read during the game, was to right there. So I have to connect here, and I've got liberties. But what if he plays something like this? This, and then what? This? This. And if I play this, he can try to get out this way? Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I know that the jump is good. I know that the attach underneath is not technically considered to be good. So I guess taking the stone's the only way. And you know what? The shape here is just too bad for black. So this has to be the correct way. It looks like, oh, white got sealed in and black's got the outside, but um, what kind of outside is that? So now he tries to pincer me. These are both, this is overplayish, this is overplayish, and it leaves to me to punish it. And in fact, what I could do is this, because this, let's say he pushes one more and he jumps out here. Now this move becomes extremely relevant. And yeah, I'm pushing him into territory over here. Um, but this is good for white, in my opinion. Tengen starts to hit at his shape points. I've got a base. He has what? And I've got some territory over here. So yeah, he's going to develop this small area right here, but he's got a weak group and white doesn't. So, and Tangen is almost always strong. Unless it dies, Tangen is strong. So I thought about doing this, but this is Sente, and he should have taken this before. He should have gotten this move. Um, Maybe it's not Sente. Okay, so he does this, this, and then I'm alive as is, and I can play something like this to seal him in. Yeah, this is probably the way I should have played. Come from the outside on the other side. Um, but this group can get a little... No, I mean, everything looks good for white here. So I don't know. I don't know. I think that this move, S16, was not good. But it was based on the idea of S17 being Sente. If he connects, then I have to drop. If I don't have to drop, and this Hane makes me have Sente myself, then S16 becomes slow, which it did end up looking that way in the game. Because once he got this, it's like, okay, so what do I do now? I could back off, and he does this, and he can Tanuki now. He doesn't have to worry about anything. So, he can start developing a framework. He can take this move. This is actually probably the better move. Or maybe something like this. It works better with this stone. It's not a standard Shimari, but when you take into account this stone, it becomes okay. It's an okay way to play that, I think. So I think that this stone was too far away. So with the amount of influence that I had, it's quite a lot. So the easy way is this, but why would I want to do that? If he jumps out, I mean, he's jumping right into me surrounding him. I mean, he's just not doing very well. I can even start to think about a move like this to ask him about this area. And if I get these two moves, now coming back here is going to be really nice for white. Because, yeah, he's going to connect, but all of these moves become dame. And then the last thing I have to do is come back here, or I could even play a move like this to try to get a base. And when he... I mean, this ends up connecting under and making this area big, so I don't like that. But the idea is I have different ways of making these stones strong, so I don't have to worry about him attacking them. So I can force him to completely surround them. And even if, like, at the end of the day, let's say that here, instead of that, he does this. These stones are now cut off, and they have to make life, but they have a lot of potential already. I mean, this is basically alive. It's very, very difficult to kill this. Very difficult. It's doable, possibly. I mean, when you talk about my life and death skills. Yeah, see, this is alive. It's just very easy to live with those types of stones. And again, he has to come back here. This group is already fine, so this whole chain of stones along this area is really, really good for white. So, I don't know. I mean, that was just obviously blitzy reading. So there was a couple of things I could do here. I could just do this and take this stone, but I didn't like this being strong. So I decided to go one step further. But actually what you could do is play this, because there's no way that he can let me play that Atari, so he has to connect here. And now I have a little bit more Aji in the corner. That's probably a better way of playing that. So he gets that. I get this move. And this is just a good probe because it's something that will never get used in any other way. So it's really a Kakashi. It's just a nice little forcing move. And because there's no other way to use that Aji, and it creates Aji of my own. For instance, this is no longer a cut. It's just a very nice move to put in. Okay, so he gets a weak group, and here's where Tengen comes into play. Now we are fighting, and I already have a stone in the center. And as of this point, I would say that Tengen hasn't really been a valuable stone. I could have not had a move in the center at any point, and it would have been almost the same position, if not the same position. Maybe there was something helping out these stones, but this right here and this right here make this, if it were to disappear, an entirely different game. I mean, just look at the difference of the game when you can say, okay, I've got one stone on the board. And that's one of the reasons, if you play Tengen, you never know how it's going to come into play. Actually, I don't have to do it that way. And the good thing is, all you have to do is eventually get in a fight somewhere, and Tengen's going to say, hey, I'm here. I got your back, buddy. But if you do play Tengen and you go around invading everywhere, do not say that I told you to play Tengen, because I did not. I told you not to. I know, you know who you are. If you're not him, don't listen to this. But I told you, don't play Tengen, okay? If anybody says, why did that guy start playing Tangen, and you say Bob, I'm going to say, what? Okay? I'm just saying. Okay, so now that I'm attacking this group, and that was actually a very good reinforcing move, because he knows what's going on. And that's the cool thing about playing Dons. They're like, I see what you're doing. Yeah. And even though what you're doing doesn't work, what you do while you're trying to do what you're doing needs to work as well. So this move is dual purpose. What it says is, can you either let me have the bottom or the entire center? And he says, well, the center is not yours. And I say, fine, I'll take the bottom. And he says, let's just make sure that whole center thing doesn't come into play. And I say, fine, bottom is good with me. And this is a place he cannot afford to like invade like this, because I can, make a forcing move here. This actually would have been a very good move at any point during the game, or P2 later on by itself. Um, and once I cap here, every move he tries to make to live with the bottom group is, in essence, killing off the center group. So he can't, that's basically becoming my territory. Now here, honestly, I probably should have done this, because if he plays here and then he does this, he can cut this, but I mean, these stones can live easily enough. It's really, I mean, it's enough for them to live, and now he has to figure out what he's going to do with this group. He doesn't have time to mess with this shape point until he's done something with this group. And, I might want to make one more move here, like something like this. Oh, actually, this is a really good move. He's got to play this. Okay, so I've got this, and now he's got to turn to make sure I don't connect up. But these stones are still strong, so I don't care about this base. Actually, this is really nice because it starts to take all the Aji out of the corner while still attacking this group. And now I can descend here. And if he doesn't want his corner to disappear, then he plays that, and I go here. Or get this move in first, and then play here. And now, I mean, you can see... let's see if SE says I'm winning. Oh, I must be losing. SE says I'm winning by 60. But I think this would have been a way better way to play it. That connection, direct connection, was just so slow. It wasn't as strong as you might have thought. Or maybe you thought, Bob, what the hell are you doing? And you would have been right, and you were right. So this still better way to play. I'm still trying to attack by hitting a shape point, but what I should be doing is forcing him to lean on me. Because if I can force him to lean, then we just go straight into Yose, and what? I mean, I've got the whole bottom. It's huge. So white's winning by like 60 points, and I haven't killed a single thing. It's very, very, very good to be winning by 60. So this move was a lot stronger than I thought it would be. And I could do some stuff, but I don't think any of it works. So, oh, you know what? This kind of works. He does this. I mean, this is really not fun. I don't like it, but it's better than the game. This is basically turning him alive and saying, you know what? I made a mistake with that L7 move. Why don't you take that move off the board for me while I do something else? So this is not bad. Let's say I do this. No, no, no. No, don't cut me. That's a bad move. He would have done that. That's why I played that. Come back here. And that's the end of the game as well. So I don't think there's anything crazy to review from this point. Just remember, you know, even though he's threatening to come into my quote-unquote territory, there's so much C-17 Aji. That's why I didn't regard this move as large at all. There's no cut here. There is a cut here, but there's so much thickness in the center that I don't have to worry about this string of stones. And because of that, it's not an attack. If it's not an attack, it doesn't matter. Now, in addition to being an attack, it needs to be something else. Otherwise, it's just an attack. So just an attack doesn't matter. But in here, I get to take his base away and ask him, is he really alive? And the answer is yes. But it gives me these 3 stones in Sente, forces him low, gets my connection more solid. So here I just could not, would not, if I could, eat them in a house with a mouse, allow this variation. Because, I mean, this is just patently absurd. I lose 5, 10 points. He gains 5 points. This is like 15 points in Sente for him. And I'm like, there is no way you are taking 15 points in Sente from me. So I did this. And again, I didn't want to connect here because then that's Sente, which, I mean, this is way better. It's probably actually the true variation, the one that you should be playing, because I do have this now in Sente. This is probably better than the game. But once I found out that I couldn't do the other one, I was like, well then, let's just go crazy. And that's what I did. And this has liberty shortages and all kinds of craziness, but I get Sente, which is what I was looking for. So now I come back here. This is big enough. And this is all kind of endgame stuff, so I'm just trying to go through my decision making, and I'm ahead enough here where, you know, the rest of the game kind of doesn't matter. But I did make some other mistakes. I think I went over them during the game. Oh, like this one. That was actually a very heavy psychological ploy. You know, it was trying to induce him to feel overconfident. Oh, this was cool. I had to read this out, and it was kind of scary. But you got this, then he goes here, and he's like, Atari! And you're like, oh no, I have to connect. And then he can turn, and then you have to do, well, actually he can't turn. And this would have been fine by itself, but I also have this move. So like if he does this, I can connect here, and then I have to do this. I get to get really low, but I get to capture these 4 stones, so it's fine. And moving right along. Oh, this was really sad. I was like, why did I do that? Because he can just go here and here. And I'm like, huh, I just got captured. So I would have to give up the B9 stone. So this was taking 3 or 4 points, but the main thing was it was making sure that I was connected. And the fact that he got this 1 stone here means to me I got to connect this in Sente, which is way bigger than this 1 stone, and it makes the whole variation a huge success for white. I'm trying to make this peep not worth cutting, which I think I did a good job of. If you can't kill something, then there's no reason to peep. So this variation again made him take Gote for no reason, because I get to solidify these points and live in Sente. So that was like he played Gote Dame there. He played something that's not worth anything, and I didn't have to respond to it. Okay, so that's Yose, and I think this video is long enough, but I decided to take a little bit more time with my moves and see if I could actually make some good ones. We ended up winning, and we played Tengen. So just remember, if you ever talk to Battousai, this game does not exist. Thank you very much for watching, and one of my kids just hit